What up, people?
Hey.
We in the house. Sorry for the late entrance here. We had some technical difficulties. Hopefully, they don't rear their head here halfway through the show. So we're back, man. We're back from Meridian. How was your trip back?
Me?
Yeah,
You're the
you.
one who had the massive adventure afterwards.
Yeah, wife turned it into a vacation.
Jumping off boats in the Mediterranean Ocean, Mediterranean, like that's
Magical. Well, one thing I forgot until I was reminded, it was actually our anniversary. So, I mean, it was kind of an anniversary thing. So
That's cool. When was that? Was that during Meridian or was that afterwards?
It was yesterday, actually. So it was close enough. We considered that a anniversary trip. So I'm glad to be back home. And it's hard to get adjusted. 9 time zones is rough.
Yeah, it's gonna take a while for me to look at a plane the same way.
Yeah, like being cramped for 12 hours from Zurich to San Francisco. Not ideal. Luckily, the girl who was on the aisle seat led us up to go to the bathroom like twice. So
I always feel like a little self-conscious asking that person. I just feel bad. I'm like, don't get up.
I was like, as soon as I would see her start to like kind of look tired, I would just tell my wife, I'm like, babe, we got to go now. Otherwise, it could be like 5 hours until we get to go again. Because I don't want to be that jerk. Like someone finally gets to fall asleep in the plane, and then you're like, hey, I got to go tinkle. They're just like, really?
The best is when they go to the washroom and then you get up with them.
Yeah,
like, you've been holding it.
It worked out good, but cool. We got a lot to cover, man. We both. I mean, I can't speak for you, but I had a blast, and there's a lot of stuff that I think I forgot. I was kind of doing a refresher before the show, and I was like, oh yeah, there was this. Oh yeah, I met this person, and oh, we did that. So tons to talk about and go over, and I guess we should jump right into it. But I see. Awesome. Already got some people in the chat. So if there's anybody that wasn't at Meridian and wish they were, you can live vicariously through us and toss some questions in the chat, and we'll go over them at the end of the show. If there's anything that we can answer that we were there for, or there was some news that you think you might have missed that we can.
If you were there and you have some tough questions.
Yeah, or if you were there and you saw something we didn't, let us know, and so we can let the tens of people watching around the world know about it.
Yeah.
Cool. I guess first, one order of business from Meridian. Sorry about the live streams. What's Meridian? We got one comedian already, John. Sorry about the live streams. We really intended to do as many of those as we could for the important sessions, but the audio was just not ideal. I mean, in the funniest part, the first session with, or not the first session, right after the opening fireside with Alexis, the one with David and his mic, even the people's mic. I mean, the audio for the main stage was kind of off almost the whole event. Like the mics would kind of go in and out, and then they'd, give them a separate microphone, like a handheld microphone to use. So we just had tons of audio issues. It wasn't good for you guys. So it was better if we just didn't do it. And now today's show, we can kind of catch everybody up. So it's Raph's fault. It was his phone.
I tried. Like I met Gleb at the at Meridian. He's like, I was trying to watch the stream. It was awful. I said, oh man, I feel so misrepresented here. Like it's not completely our fault, but it is a little. So maybe next time we'll be able to invest some money into some better audio equipment. So
yeah. So sorry about that. We apologize. We deleted the clips that were posted. So we'll talk about them today. I think.
Plus, if they post the recordings like really quick here, we should be able to go back and watch them. So hopefully,
yeah. There's a lot of stuff, and it's not really stuff that you really have to edit, really, besides putting like an intro or something. It's just gonna be raw video that they were doing, so it shouldn't take them too long to get that stuff posted up. But
and to be fair, the fire chats at the start were not really interesting. I'm sorry SCF, but like the Alexis chat, I don't know, personally had nothing to do like anything for me. So it was kind of his journey through technology and investing, and I usually expect from Meridian kind of like a open session about like, here's the things that we're going to be working on. This is what we're doing or focusing on this Meridian. And that wasn't at all what this fire chat was about. So
yeah, I mean, the whole announcement of him being with her for the fireside was kind of out of nowhere. And that's why we were kind of wondering what's going on and speculated on some stuff. But yeah, it was I believe they call that a nothing burger of a what we wanted it to be, at least. So anyways, let's jump on in. I guess before we gotta tell them if we have anyone new here, what do we do every show? What do we give out here?
Oh, we give out an NFT.
Oh, and it's never just any NFT.
No, it's not. And this is actually special. This is like to heart for this one. We usually give out like a proof of attendance. So at the end of this show, we'll be collecting your public keys. You can send it to either one of us, and we'll send you a claimable balance. So you can go claim that you were here for this live show. And this time around, we have a beautiful NFT. Do you have it on Lightmint? It's already there, right?
Yeah, it's already minted.
Okay, so I'm going to show you the picture and actually the original here. Let me turn on my screen share. Okay, so this here is supposedly a giraffe. This was drawn on a placemat down here. It was at one of our suppers by a journalist who had no experience of crypto at all and just decided to show up. And he was a blast. He was a hoot and a half. So his name was Leo. So we went to dinner with him and asked him to draw us his NFT, our future NFT for our episode on a placemat. And there it is. And then last night I spent a couple hours livening up a little, make it more real. So here's the NFT that you'll be getting for your attendance at the Meridian show. This one's close to our hearts. Thanks, Leo.
I mean, that's the most beautiful giraffe I have ever seen in my life. I almost want to say that he's never seen a giraffe and just kind of drew something that kind of sounded like the word giraffe. But
there's some things there, like the ear things, whatever these called. I don't know.
It's like antenna. Giraffes don't have antenna.
There was like some odd parts too, like just some like wings to this giraffe. It's cool. We dig it.
Cool.
Like it's there.
The guy was a hoot for sure, and he also has some moves. So if you guys want to know the man, but yes, it is. It does look rather fishy. There's a lure in front of him. Yeah, it does look like a fish. But our buddy Leo, he was a hoot at the gala. He had some moves, and I think we got a clip here of Leo. So if
it's real,
yeah, if you want to see the man behind this beautiful artwork, here you go. Oh, I mean,
it's not funny. I actually dig it. I think he was a blast. Like I hope more people come to free conferences. Like, and they're like, I want to travel across the world. I'm going to go to this cool, free crypto conference and just go learn some stuff. And he actually jumped into conversations, and that's what Meridian's about. So jumping into conversations.
Yeah. And he wasn't the only one that kind of just came on a whim. There was that guy, Ben. I mean, he was just like, oh yeah, I'm into XLM actually. And there happens to be a conference, and rode his bike 4 days over the mountains with all of his clothes stuffed in like little bags on his bike, 4 days worth, and came to Meridian. So yeah, it was interesting. So anyways, that's the story behind the NFT. He's a interesting guy. There was a lot more that we could talk about with that guy, but I
don't think anyone should have a camera out on a dance floor. It's dangerous.
It can be. There was some. I mean, he was the journalist, but there were definitely some other amateur journalists there taking video. But cool. Well, let's get into it. I think my idea for the show.
Are you gonna cue it? I feel like you're like showing me mercy.
It's not yet. There's gotta be
you're holding on to it. I just feel so nervous because I know it's coming.
So my idea for this show was to run over some top 5 moments from the conference, and they'll be different for each of them, or each of us, sorry. I kind of had my own favorites, and you'll have yours. We have no idea what the other person's favorites are. So I figure we could run through a quick 5 favorites and then kind of get into the other stuff that's a little more news-ish, I guess. And then if there's any Q&A stuff, I know I saw a question already asking about Moots and Marcus from Script 3, stuff like that. So we'll go back through the chat once we're done and answer any questions if we know the answer or think we do.
Asking some questions. It's good.
Yeah, it's good. Besides John. We got to ignore John. Yeah. Cool. So you want to go first? You want me to go first?
I think do you want to start for number ones or?
No, I'm starting at 5, man. It's got to be a build. We're building.
Okay.
I mean, I think we have the same number 1, but
do we have the same number 5?
Yeah. I didn't have any time to for some graphics. I don't know if you guys saw our cool countdown to enter the show here.
That was cool. I enjoyed that.
That was a quick Google right before the show, So anyways, I'll start. So I'm not going to dig into these too much. We'll make a long show. We can talk more about it after we list them all off. So for me personally, my top 5 moment, number 5, was Soraban announcements. So they finally announced, or not finally, we kind of knew it was coming. So Soraban is available on FutureNet. You might say, what? Jayrome is FutureNet. So I think we heard about this back. This is back Protocol 18 with the AMM upgrade. They had made mention of a FutureNet, and people were kind of like, is that testnet? What is that? So FutureNet's kind of, I guess you could say it's almost like a pre-testnet, like a beta net. And so it's live on there now. Another quick thing about Soraban that they mentioned was Sorabanathon First Light.
Not a hackathon.
Not a hackathon. So Sorabanathon First Light.
Purely marketing.
And so it's the total fund for they have for builders is $100 million, I believe, right? It was $100 million for everything. Sorabanathon First Light has $1 million dedicated to it over the next, I believe it ends December 15th. And you can do submissions, all sorts of stuff. You tinkering around. There's a ton of different ways you can go. We'll link it in the description of the video. They just want people to go play around with it, see how it works. And you can get anywhere between, I think it's like 300 to 3,000 XLM. So, I mean, Soraban, we knew it was coming. We had some loose dates, but now people can actually really play with it. So that's my quick number 5. We might talk about it a little more later, but Soraban announcements. Number 5. What's your number 5?
My 5? Stellar community trivia. I felt so stressed out doing this community trivia. I was like, Tyler's 1, Jayrome's 2. If I am not 3, I don't know anything about Stellar, and I should probably.
First of all, Tyler being number 1. How does that happen? I know he's around, but I feel like we should have been better.
Nothing gets past Tyler.
Oh, no. Nothing gets past Jayrome. Nothing gets past Jayrome. That was a good times. Good times there. Let's see, number 4. This is a broad one. I had to lump this all into one, otherwise it would have taken up all of my top 5. And that was meeting all the wonderful folks from SDF. So I made a couple notes here. You and I both, we talked for quite a while with Justin Rice at the gala party. Rad. I like watching that dude. He just seems like such a character. Rad music, all sorts of stuff. So we got to talk with Justin Rice, got to meet him. Spent time exploring Rome. We just talked about Tyler. Spent time exploring Rome with Tyler and our buddy Spintax, John. Had a screaming conversation with you and I and Tomer at the gala. There was such loud music. I hope none of us are sick after that, because we were definitely had to scream in each other's face to communicate at the gala party.
I met the Reef Hive founder that day, and I feel awful because I feel like it was sign language.
Yeah.
On the dance floor.
It was awkward.
Really
what's his name? The guy from Pendulum.
Torsten?
Yeah, that guy. He made me scan his Telegram QR code on the dance floor because I couldn't talk to him. So, and then it was my fake Anon Telegram account. So I had to
Busted.
like tell him, I was like, this is my fake Raph account that I used to troll other, communities. It's not my real one. Anyways, it was awkward. So
He's like, sure. And then thank you to our buddy Fergal for being a good wingman, because I'm not the type of person to just like go up to some of these people and just introduce myself out of nowhere. I guess you would never know. Yeah, handing out baseballs. I guess in person, I'm more of like a calculated, not necessarily shy. I just like to kind of figure things out. So, anyways, Danelle came walking by at the cocktail hour the first night. I was talking to Fergal. Danelle and Justin actually came walking by, and Fergal just like grabs Danelle. In my opinion, she was like headed somewhere, probably to get a drink or something. But Fergal's just like Danelle and grabs her. So I got to, introduce myself to her and Justin. I hadn't met Justin yet. Got to introduce myself to both of them. The girls from the Vibrant team, I think we can both agree. Jesse and G, awesome, love them. Actually, and then Bianca too. Bianca,
they're like exactly the people. Not Bianca, but like G's like exactly the person she is online. She's so approachable and nice. Oh, it's cool.
Yeah. And Jesse was super cool. Hopefully we get some Vibrant swag. They had some cool shirts that they had there, but sad face did not get one of those. And then what else? So the girls from the Vibrant team. Who else did I have listed? I gotta look at my notes here. Some sadness though. I know you did, but I did not get to meet Jed. I know I looked over at one point and you were chatting with him out in the rain. It was such a magical sight. You and Jed talking in the rain.
Wasn't about me that day though. It was all about Nesho. Nesho wanted a picture. So
oh, did he? Yeah. See, I just they always look busy, and I couldn't get there. So him and David too. I think David, if they were handing out stickers, I think David was probably more on the yellow or red sticker as far as like handshakes and elbow bumps or something like that. So I didn't get to say hi to Jed or David, although I did watch quite a few of David's talks. So
I got to meet David. That was pretty cool.
You did meet David too?
Yeah. Well, I met David because I was at the swag booth and it was after 5. So David got turned away. They didn't know who he was, so they turned him away. So I went to go offer David my backpack. And
yeah, hey, founder of this whole event that we're here for. Sorry, but it's after 5:03. Sorry about that, bud.
It's like 5:10. It was like okay.
Sorry about that. So yeah, I had to lump all that into one, just meeting everybody from SDF. There's people I didn't mention, but pretty much everyone I met from SDF. Like Lauren, she was awesome. Came and said hi. Our girl Candace Kelly, we got to give some love to the lawyers there. I think she appreciated that.
She's like, they know me.
Yeah,
she was stoked. She turned around, looked at Danelle, and said, "They know me.
They know me."
Maybe
it was like a scared voice, like they know me.
Yeah, maybe. But it was cool because we had done so much research before Meridian that we knew everything about all the speakers. So we just walked up to them and be like, "Hey." So creepy, but hey.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to be weird when people know like a lot more about you and you don't really know anything about them or something. So yeah.
What's worse is when they know something about you and they shouldn't, and you're like, I'm nobody.
I'm a nobody. So there you go. That's my number 4. Meeting all the wonderful people from SDF.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna tag team on here with you. Actually, I have some pictures here for you, which is kind of cool. This is the gala right here, and this was actually a little bit earlier on. This is I don't know if I can dox everyone, but Fragger Reality and Jay Rice and Fred and his wife. It was cool.
I'm pretty sure even if you don't point to them, people can figure out that one of those is you and one is Justin.
I'm there.
One is Fred and one is his wife.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Even I don't know where the picture of Enrique was, but at one point there was Enrique there too, and like I've chatted a lot with Enrique and Paul. So it was really cool having that night where I sat there. I was so awkward with Fred. I tried to say hi to Fred beforehand, but I couldn't do the words. And I'm not usually someone that's shy.
Well, you told him about your shirt, right?
Sorry. Yeah, I made him a shirt. I actually have it here. I made him a shirt and then I was too scared to give it to him, but I have it.
Keep Fred fed.
So I did make him a shirt and I brought it on the trip and I brought it right back home. So maybe next time I'll save it for him, or maybe I'll just keep it for myself.
Yeah, and then we're all chowing pizza.
And this was pretty cool. This was the last day after Meridian.
Don't you even dare.
Oh,
scroll up.
you see the legs.
Don't you even dare.
So this is actually, I'm the only one not in this picture because I'm taking it, but this was super sweet because I've actually never really interacted too much with Tyler. Like I've seen a lot of him, and it was kind of cool to spend time with him. But John and yourself, like two people that I spent a lot of time with online, and we got to spend that day together. I still don't know John's sarcasm. I still don't know when Spintax is being sarcastic or not. So that's my goal for the next year is to work on that.
Figure it out.
Yeah. And then Jason says, please go.
F off, Jason.
Okay, so
you son
so
of
that's
a
after the gala, and I just like
you're dead.
It's after the gala, and he's just so done. I have to use this because I know what kind of ammunition you have later in the show. And his wife and my fiance both went to go get some pizza, and he's just sitting there. He's like just deaf. And then they get back, and he does, like, you can see Jayrome here with pizza, but this was his pizza. The pizza that's like right here is a pizza that was his wife's, and his wife was, I can't even remember why, but she was upset with him, so she ate the entire pizza. So Mano, who's lactose, didn't eat the entire thing and took mercy on Jayrome and gave him a slice. So this is him. This is her showing off her sassiness of like, I ate everything, and this is Jayrome finally getting the slice after a long night. So
yeah,
there's
like
some good memories.
Hammered, hoping I don't throw up, and then my own wife will not share an entire pizza with me.
You were so hungover next day. Like I remember the UNHR right at the end. You're like, I gotta go. I can't sit here any longer.
It was touch and go. It was touch and go. A little bit. Yeah, I definitely had way too much champagne at that show, and you're gonna
I gotta
get
use
it.
something because I know what's coming up. So
oh man, that's not ideal. Not
you look
ideal.
great, by the way.
Yeah. Hammered with my hand on my head. Yeah. Super cool. Oh,
Jason
man.
says, note to self, no gala halfway through the conference. There was a lot of people missing the last day. Like it was weird. Like I don't know if everyone just like left but like the biggest news that happened on the last day that we haven't talked about yet was the last day of the conference.
Yeah. People, I mean, the gala, it lasted a while. Got a little out of control at times, but all good. All right. So thank you for that.
Do you want me to start on my 3? I'll switch you out.
I'll do my 3.
Okay. What's your 3? Oh shit.
Well, I should switch up my order now for some payback here.
Oh crap.
But I don't. I will not deviate from my plan here. So my number 3 was the Stellar Global Meetup. I mean, pretty much everybody that's in the chat box and everybody else is from Stellar Global. So we had a little meetup. So the first night of Meridian, they had a cocktail hour and it rained, sprinkled. Let's call it sprinkling. God, this light in my office here. Okay, I gotta back up. So we had plans to go have a meetup after the cocktail party. So we left. It started raining. We tried to leave a little bit early. We ended up walking a mile to find a place that would kind of fit all of us. And I think, how big did the group get? Like 18 people or something like that? John probably knows. He paid the bill.
He's holding it against us, by the way.
Yeah.
Wine we had.
Yeah. So we kind of had 2 of them. The very first night we were in town the day before Meridian, we met up and had a dinner with pretty much more Stellar Global people. And then the guys from Ultra Stellar and the guys from MyCobo, the Anchor, and the Beans guys, which those guys can drink, man. Those guys can drink.
Jason's here. He was there.
Yeah. I mean, I said the Ultra Stellar guys. Yeah. So, yeah. Raph here didn't know who Dima.
Didn't know his real name.
From Ultra Stellar, Mr. Ultra Stellar Dima walks in and Raph's like, so are you are you building anything on Stellar or something like that? And I think his reply or Jason like stepped in and kind of said, have you ever heard of Ultrastellar or something like that? So
I know who Dima is. I just didn't know what his real name was. So he was like, "Yo."
Yeah, I guess I had seen him last Meridian. I believe he was on something, and so I guess I just kind of knew, and then maybe because he was there with Jason, I put it together or something like that. But
Jason was super sus organizing that event. I'm like taking reservations. He's like, "Oh, I'm just gonna bring someone else."
Oh yeah, can't let anybody know who it is. So yeah, the Stellar Global meetup, we all went up this time. The actual meetup was after the cocktail hour was upstairs. We ended up finding a place and they shoved us upstairs, and we ordered many bottles of wine and mucho food, and we got our NFT out of it from our buddy Leo.
Shots of limoncello, which we found out that's not a thing. You're supposed to sip it.
Yeah. So limoncello, I tossed it down the hatch, and then someone told me I was supposed to sip it, which was news to me. But I had a ton of fun meeting all the characters and putting faces to names from everyone that we talked to on the daily in Stellar Global. And of course, thanks to John Spintax for footing the bill for the get together there, even though, it was a Stellar Global meetup where Sam wasn't even there. And he didn't have to pay the bill, man. That should have been Sam's deal. There were some people that
for that. So
what's that?
He left. I think did he leave that day? No, he left after Gala.
He was at the Gala. So my number 3 was the Stellar Global meetup. Yeah. What are you working on over there? You look to your left, and I think you're.
I was trying to set up. I'm not nothing more embarrassing. But my number 3 was actually there's a couple of different sessions that focused on different things that we're doing around the world. So this was Crypto for the Next Building. This is with Jay Kendall from DFS and Ben from Stacks, and Stacks is doing some cool stuff with USSD, which is like a protocol for messaging. So messaging off phone, sending people USDC off your phone, and Leon J from Leaf. So it was a pretty cool conversation. And then the other one, I was trying to find it, was the one with AirTM, ClickPesa, and Bitwage. I was just trying to find where it was.
I think that was the Enterprise Solutions. I think it was on Wednesday.
I don't know. On Wednesday?
Yeah, I think it was on Wednesday. It's like keep going.
It was on the partner stage.
It was like Enterprise Payment Solutions.
That's not this one.
No,
it was right after. Enabling the future of work.
Yeah, that one.
Okay, so and it was super cool because I got to see the personalities in the ecosystem. And so first of all, Jason's kind of new to this ecosystem, working for Bitwage, and they just enabled USDC from Stellar to pay people, and then they just had the big sponsorship for the UFC fighter that took all of his pay on Vibrant and through Stellar USDC, which was super cool. So I got to talk to him about it, and but he's a really cool ad for a new person that's come to join Stellar, and this was honestly the cutest presentation ever. These guys had so much they just worked so well together. Ruben started taking the mic, started asking questions instead of Carolyn, and be like, Jonathan, I got a question. What is this? And they started going off of each other, and it was super cool. So seeing how people can build off of each other, and again, these two presentations for me were really cool because it was about how can we create opportunities for other people around the world through Stellar. Again, I hope when these two go live, I would highly suggest to go look at them. Super cool, super interesting. Again, this presentation here just really good flow. It was cool.
Yeah, I missed that one. We kind of split up a little bit, not necessarily on purpose half the times. It was a packed schedule, man. It's there was a lot going on, and things were back to back. You'd literally have to leave one and run upstairs to the partner stage or something like that. And it was kind of chaotic. So we would end up going different directions. So you saw that one. I didn't get to see that one. So I'll have to wait for the recording to see that one.
I didn't spend a lot of time doing we didn't have time for brain dates. It was session.
Yeah, we should have set up our own brain date. See if anyone wants to date our brains. We just be sitting there by ourselves,
That's right.
just like this, just hanging out, you and I. More of this.
We didn't want to bring a camera there. We didn't want to like do interviews there because we wanted to enjoy it for what it was. So hopefully next year, maybe we'll feel more comfortable to record or interview people, but working up to it.
True. So my number 2, which it's another one that a lot goes into this, but my number 2 is the entire gala dinner and party. And I guess it was a dinner. But anyways, the gala dinner, you literally walked in, there was like, it was upstairs at the, what do you call this? Like not a building. It was like I don't know, mansion. I don't know what this place was. Anyways, it was at the upstairs, and you walked in and there was like these girls on stilts and these crazy costumes. And like immediately you knew like there's going to be some crazy stuff. A palace. Thank you, John. A palace. That sounds much more elegant. Which kind of fits in with all the entertainment and stuff.
There's pictures on Twitter for it. Like again, I don't have them here, but go to Twitter, go check it out. We've posted about it, and it's cool.
Yeah,
it was a really cool location.
Yeah, super cool location, and so there were like performers going through there. There was tons of food. There was, of course, drinks happening. But that's also where you just like by that time people were kind of figuring out who was who, and that's when like Justin Rice kind of, I think he saw you and I standing together, and he literally just kind of like stopped and kind of initiated a conversation and stuff like that. So I mean, it was cool. Danelle had her family there. Her son was there. I didn't see her. I don't think she made it to like the raging dance floor party or anything like that. But Danelle was there earlier in the night, and it was just cool. Like, because by that time, like I was saying, you had already met some people, so you just got to like, you kind of maybe like knew who you wanted to talk to more or something like that. But my wife and your fiance and her friend all came to the gala, and they just kind of sat off to the side, and then we brought over, Sam to introduce Sam and stuff like that. So it was interesting kind of getting the wife into that environment and having her see all the people that we converse with on the daily. And I don't know if it was good or bad. They definitely probably had an opinion.
John had a really crappy first night hotel, and I had offered him like an extra bed that we had in our Airbnb, and the girls were like, we can't do that. We don't know who this guy is. He's someone you talk to online. Like, he's probably going to murder us in our sleep. So
it's the beard. Sorry, John.
Don't blame them. And they're like, it's true.
It's the beard. It's a little.
They'd never seen a picture.
Yeah. And speaking of that beard too, like I brought my like hair cutter that I use. Like I literally, like my entire body's number 2. And so I bring my like clipper, and then I realized that it was one of the things that I didn't check to see if it would work with the voltage over there. And so like I literally had to wear, I mean, I always wear, for the most part, I always wear hats since I was little. That's why I always keep my black hat. And so, but even to like the gala, I'm like, this is a gala. I can't wear my hat to the gala. And like, I went to shave my head, and it was a no-go. So I literally, like today, for the first time, kind of cleaned up a bit. But yeah, John, the beard, it was the beard. They weren't digging the beard, but
don't shave the beard.
Yeah, John, maybe it was the glasses. I don't know. Actually, they didn't even see him before they said no. They just said, we don't know this guy. He could be crazy. Don't want to worry about sleeping tonight or something like that. So, I mean, the gala as a whole, I mean, I had a ton of fun. Definitely drank too much. Obviously, the pizza incident afterwards and stuff like that. But I mean, it was super fun. Obviously, Leo had a good time. But there was also this other guy that showed up on the dance floor. I don't know if you saw the guy.
Are you talking? Sorry, keep going.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw him. And then it was posted on Twitter, and I don't know if you saw it, but this guy was going absolutely nuts. This is it. That's good. That's good. That's good stuff. I mean, those are
I had a good time.
those are some moves, man. Those are moves. I mean,
Where do
Raph,
I go to report Nettie Bella? Is that like a thing? Can I like?
yeah. Shout out to Nettie Bella. She's the one
Mm.
that took that video, those videos, I should say.
Ugh, Nettie.
And so I had to hit her up earlier today and get that clip because it was good. I mean, my wife was in the background of that, and obviously your fiance. I think I saw her phone out, so I could have got it from a few people, I think. But yeah, we'll shout out Nettie Bella for providing those awesome clips. It was good, man. We also had, I think I saw you pulling it up. So Orbit Lens, like the Orbit Lens.
I'm gonna put it up.
The
Here.
Orbit Lens, like I was at the community corner with John, and the Orbit Lens like came up and like introduced himself. I think he just said Orbit, and I was like, the Orbit Lens. So, anyways, we were at the gala. Everyone's going
This is a good picture. There's everyone here. Like, this is cool.
And and then all of a sudden at the party, he goes out and they get this prop from the hallway, and they bring it in and start like breakdancing around it. So that's Orbit Lens on the floor right there, like sitting down that you could see. And then
I love that it doesn't reveal who he is because I still don't know who he is.
You don't know who he is? Yeah, his face is hidden. Yeah, and then it was like him and Dima from Ultrastellar. They're the ones that went out and picked it up and brought it back in, and they were like dancing around it, having a good time. And then Lauren from SDF, she was like right next to there, and like I saw her, and I'm like, is she gonna be mad or like, is this okay? And then she like starts dancing around it. I'm like, oh, okay, this is cool. It's acceptable. And then as soon as it like died down a little bit, she like picks it up and runs it out of the room.
Do not break this.
Yeah. It was cool until it wasn't cool. I mean, I think it was like the one that was from the main stage. Was it foam? It was probably foam.
I think it was the one on the main stage.
No, I think it was the one from the hallway because they came in from like the curtains on the side. But yeah, he was having a good time. I mean, everyone was having a good time, but there was like people that were like, they were really like having a good time. Like the whole dancing, like all that, that's not really my jam. Obviously it's your jam. But I'm pretty sure that it's Orbit's jam. He was having a good time.
Yeah. What we're learning here is that it's not about the sessions.
It's just about the parties.
No, I'm just kidding. It was really cool. There was so many cool things that it wasn't party oriented at all. But our biggest memories were the people that we met. So that's kind of why we highlight it. So
yeah. And I honestly don't think the entire event would have been the same without all the community people there.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I can say that obviously because I'm happy we went and we're part of the community. But I mean, it's just, I don't know. I don't think it would have had the same vibe. I don't really know, but I think it was beneficial. I mean, hopefully they, SDF themselves found benefit in, meeting some of us, like some people from the community. There were builders, we're just kind of spectators and, commentary people. Whereas, some of the other guys like Enrique and all those people, they're more, builders.
Yeah.
So, I mean, hopefully they found benefit in it. And in the future, 2023, they'll have us back. Hopefully we're invited back.
I just remember the developers. So they had like developing a first contract on Sorbonne or and the audience was full. Everyone had their laptop out. There was a really good dev presence. It wasn't just suits. There was a lot of people there that were there to build. So even Carmen from UNHR spent time at these different sessions trying to learn about smart contracts. And she started talking about smart contracts at her presentation the next day. So, like there was a lot of hype over smart contracts. And that goes into my number 2. Should I?
Rock on, man. Number 2. What's your number 2?
My number 2 was actually that they're way ahead time on Sorbonne. They were trying to do it by end of year testnet, and here they are middle of October, and they released FutureNet for it. So that was massive. Totally not unexpected. I kind of thought that they were going to be releasing testnet. I thought it was doable from the conversation that they had and what they had originally published. But it's really cool that they had it done already because a lot of developers were waiting for a testnet to start building. And that's kind of what, not to say that that's what YBX is doing, but that's kind of what conversations from Marcus and Moots was, wait till testnet so that you can actually have data. Otherwise, you got to build your own testnet. And then, so yeah, the testnet stuff was massive. The Sorbonne, $100 million was insane.
Yeah.
That was a big one to convince people to come to Stellar. There was, again, we'll talk about Sorbonne First Light and the first kind of first couple of people that have posted to it. But it's going to be a great way. There's a big business from developers to move platform to platform based on grants. And this is one not to miss. So this is a massive opportunity for new developers to come to Stellar and explore contracts through Rust and learn some Rust. So lots of cool stuff it's going to come around the ecosystem, lots of good opportunities, and excited to see all the discussion posts on the Sorbonne-a-thon GitHub.
Yeah. And they, just so everyone knows, they said they were pulling those funds from the mandate. I don't know. They didn't really say which part of the mandate, but somewhere in the mandate, that's where those funds are.
It's a lot of money, 100 mil.
Yeah. So, I mean, translate that into XLM at current prices, and, you've got a lot of XLM from the mandate.
But I don't know also, like, they've been cashing. They consistently sell XLM throughout the year. So it might also have already funds that already been sold. So,
yeah. Absolutely. I'm not saying there's going to be 800 million XLM hitting the exchanges here soon or anything like that. I'm just saying it was immediately, I was like, wow, that's a lot of money. That's not. Yeah,
what's the total amount for marketing that they had for marketing?
I don't know, but I think that's the bucket that hasn't been touched. Mm-hmm. Like in the mandate, you look and that amount just has been sitting there. People scream all the time, do more marketing. So 100 million, that's a.
And what was the bridge grant? The bridge grant was $1 million. Bridge grant, 5 million. 5 bridge grants.
I think 5 companies got $1 million each.
Yeah, so 5 million, up to 5 million, but there's conditions. They have to have certain things by certain dates to actually get their $1 million each. So again, 5 million for bridges, but 100 million for smart contracts. Really kind of puts into perspective how much they want to push developer focus on Stellar.
Did you see the talk about all the bridges? I think it was interoperability something.
Yeah. It was okay. It was hard to hear. It was okay. Yeah, you can learn more about QRedo, Pendulum, Axelar, and what was the other one? On their website.
Qredo or
Allbridge was the last one on their website. So it's worth doing. I've heard really good things about Axelar and Allbridge. So
yeah, the guy from Axelar, immediately the thing that struck me, and I don't know if there were some other people there, like is it the guy Seth from Stablecorp, Sean McDermott, maybe something from Stablecorp, the Canadian stablecoin, like that guy, insanely good speaker, very well spoken. But the guy from Axelar cracked me up. He was very well spoken, but it literally sounded like a recording. It was almost like he knew what the question was going to be and how a scripted answer, because there was no pause. As soon as he was given a question, he answered a very well thought out thing. And it was just as soon as he was done, it was a hard stop. He's like, I'm done. So he was a good speaker, but there was a lot of people there that were good speakers. But talking about the bridges, that guy from Axelar stood out to me the way he spoke during that thing. And very well spoken. It was just like a recording.
That 5 million got announced the night of Meridian before the first
yeah.
day.
Well, then also the announcement of the 100 million and the testnet thing got leaked. Was it CoinDesk or whoever posted it before they were supposed to?
But there was no reason to hold off to the next day. They could. It was just like, okay, I guess we're going today. So there was an embargo on that, and they released it early. But it is what it is.
I'm sure that's all scheduled stuff. I mean, they write the articles and schedule it to go, post at a certain time or whatever.
Going to introduce myself to Jay Rice, and he's like, I'm working on something that's really important right now because this got leaked, and he goes off with it, and it was cool. But yeah.
Putting out fires. Yeah.
So
we got number one. But I think we're in agreement here on what number one is, and it's crazy to me that this is not plastered all over the internet, right?
It's not posted anywhere. You can't hear. You cannot find any articles. There's no podcast about it. there's nothing. And this is actually something that's been in development for a long time. We've actually heard about it in Paris Blockchain Week with Jason. He did a presentation on this, and just I guess the start of it. And he wasn't allowed to post about that. We thought there'd be a media blackout about this session, but we were allowed to record it, and so that was pretty cool. Do you want to tell them what it is?
The clip that you have, is the audio good? Is it a good intro to
Yes.
the clip?
So I worked on the audio. It's not perfect. Maybe we should kind of introduce what these what the UNHR is.
HCR.
UNHCR, sorry.
Yeah.
Let me share my screen.
So
this is the UNHCR. They are the refugee agency of the United Nations, and they've been they've been working with Stellar to be able to distribute funds directly to refugees. So refugees would have the app and be able to transact between themselves, businesses, or even cash out through MoneyGram, USDC, which is pretty insane. I remember turning to you right after this announcement and saying, this announcement was exactly what we thought about what it was. It wasn't a half-assed announcement. It was everything that we hoped for. And for Stellar to work with an organism over the last year as the United Nations, and this was not the only person. Carmen, who's from the UNHR who presented, is not the only person from the United Nations that was there. It sounds like, and not just from this presentation, I don't want to overspeak, but the next presentation that was right after this with the International or the Computing Center really made it sound like Stellar and blockchain is being used right now to modernize the United Nations. How they deal with NGOs and how NGOs deal between each other, how they pay their employees, and of course, how do they help people and give financial aid all around the world. This gives them a quick and easy means of giving funds and food to those that need it the most instantaneously without third parties. And she's also talking about, well, in the future, there's already systems where you can donate money and see where it goes to, but of course, on a blockchain, everything is transparent. So we do have the clip about it, and she does talk about how they've been working on Stellar on this project.
Roll it.
Again, pardon, it's not perfect. She has an accent, and it is really hard to understand, but it is the only clip, or the best heard clip that I've seen on this announcement.
People don't know, we've been working, our teams have been working a lot together. Carmen has spent so much time with us working on the project. Do you want to describe a little bit about what the UNHCR is building on Stellar?
Yeah. So of course, the Stellar team, we have to thank you for all the efforts that you have gone through with us. We have been at it, I think, for about 6 months, 7 months, something like that. And we have gone through how the blockchain can really come into action. And I think we are at the stage where we can say yes, it's there. And our dream is sort of coming true in that sense, that we would have a financial gateway and blockchain will be part of that. So we can reach the beneficiaries. And the way we have set this up is through USDC on Circle. From Circle, we will have a payout organized through a payout API onto the wallet. And we also have UNICC, so we have another UN organization that is basically hosting the platform, the Stellar disbursement platform. We think that's very important. That gives us huge opportunity to also onboard, in that sense, other UN agencies and other partners. We have heard we work with at least 1,000 partners, so it's not just the UN in itself, but also social societies on the ground. So from that perspective, I think we are sort of orchestrating all the partners, everyone that needs a role in that. And from the Meridian wallet is then actually cashed out through MoneyGram. So we also have heard on that a very powerful partnership, Stellar MoneyGram. So we have plenty of options available to the internally displaced or the refugees to earn cash, wherever they need the money. So if they need fiat, they cash out fiat. If they want to transfer it to their account, they transfer it to their account. So plenty of options.
Wow.
And Danelle really goes on to saying right afterwards that this is her favorite use case. And I have a couple of the other audio postings on the Stellar Global Discord, and I'd highly suggest for anyone to go back and see it. But they go on to say like that's how they're paying the people on the ground. Like these are great opportunities for anyone around the world. They're hoping for as many transactions as they have refugees, which is 100 million different refugees that they have. There's 100 million displaced people around the world, and they're hoping that many transactions on Stellar. So just imagine the amount of people that are being onboarded to a technology that it's meaningful. And we've been striving for like a meaningful technology for a long time through blockchain, and this is it. This is probably the coolest, in my opinion, the coolest application, non-speculative application of blockchain. And the UN is adopting it. Again, if you have if we ever get the recording for the next session after this, it really talks about the modernization process that the UN has been doing. And it's insane that this is totally silent. Like, I want to know what it looks like from a refugee standpoint using that app. Is it difficult? Like, what is the learning process to using technologies that maybe they've never used before? What is the cash out process? Does it help them? Are they able to interact person to person? Like, I just said there's so many details that I don't know and that I just want to learn about. And she talks about it's not about just the UNHR, but also onboarding other NGOs and other people are looking into this technology and how they're using it. So it's massive.
Yeah. And she had a tidbit. Also a thing that stuck out to me when Carmen was talking is she mentioned some like regulation type stuff. Like, I mean, I think it's already like a seal of approval that, I mean, this is not like some private thing. Like, this is an actual like UN organization. Like, I was reading on the website earlier, like they are literally like a real organization in the government's there. So and she mentioned something, and I wish I could hear it back, but she mentioned something also in that session about like regulation stuff and like how it's going. And she kind of like alluded to something in the future or something like that. So, but yeah, it's crazy. Like, so it was kind of hard to hear. So what she said that they built was there's what they're calling the Stellar Disbursement Platform. And so it sounds like they will essentially put all the Stellar USDC into this disbursement platform, all of the donations, whatever in there. And then the disbursement platform will then send that out to all of the verified. She didn't really get into detail on how they're going to verify, the refugees and stuff.
They talked a bit about the potential about digital identity. There's other things too, but
yeah. We had speculated on there was some identity companies there, and there was a session on it, but they didn't really tie it in or anything like that. But so it'll go into this disbursement platform and then get sent out to all the refugees. And then they, as they need money, whatever country they're in, obviously cash out on MoneyGram right now is tons of places. And Justin Rice said it'll be available, worldwide, globally by the end of the year. So these refugees, no matter where they are, if they cross borders, doesn't matter, they can cash out at MoneyGram into the local currency. So, I mean, Danelle, like you mentioned, Danelle said it was her favorite, use case so far. And I think, I mean, obviously SDF historically, it's not really their project. They weren't the one that said anything. Carmen's the one that, is talking about what the UNHCR is working on. And I think and it's probably why they're working with Stellar on this, is because, they're just like them. There's no need to hype this.
Yeah.
There's no need. It's not meant for that. It's not, they're not trying to make money. This is not a thing. This is to make their operations more efficient and better for refugees. So I think the reason why it's just a little bit quiet, I mean, I didn't hear anything that it's live. I think it maybe could be live currently, like it's ready or something, but I think everything's built, but that it's not actually in use quite yet. But I mean,
I have this here. So it's kind of, I don't think it's live, but I think it's being utilized. And this is kind of, I did some research last night about a Vibrant and their growth over the last couple of years. The first year the Vibrant was out, Vibrant did, I think, 10,000 users in the first year. And you can see this by the sponsored accounts. It's about this number. So it was around 70,000 sponsored accounts a year ago. And now 2 years ago. And then a year ago, 70,000. So that's about 10,000 Vibrant users. And that's after 1 year of existing. And now that number is up to 477,000 trust lines. So that's divided by 7. I think it's like 70,000 different users. So we've like 6 or 7x the amount of different sponsored wallets from Vibrant in the last year. So we're going through a bear market, but Vibrant is skyrocketing with its actual being used.
Yeah,
which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, part of me when I heard this, I think I might have turned to you, or I turned to somebody and kind of whispered, like, is MoneyGram ready for this? Like, like that's a lot of funds and a lot of, likely very small hole in the wall MoneyGram locations in all of these countries that are likely going to have a large influx of people looking to cash out. So I hope that the, Vibrant MoneyGram integration is fully ready for this when they enable it. That was my first concern. That they, that's tightened up by the time that this actually rolls out. Yeah. And then I had some issues when I was traveling. So when I was in Italy, I needed to cash out, and I had some USDC in my wallet and wanted to go cash out. I think I wanted like 500 USDC, which it was going to get me like 502 euros. And I had an issue. One of the issues I had, which I let the team know, and I think they're going to work on it because it makes sense, is that when I was on an international calling plan with AT&T from back in the States, and if I was on a cellular signal, I showed up as being in the United States. So just a little quirk with probably my international plan. And so I had to jump on, because part of the flow in the app, like Vibrant, when you go to do a withdrawal, to find where you can actually go to pick up your money, it automatically determines your location, excuse me, and locks it on there. You have no option to change it. It's like a drop down that just locks. And so it kept saying United States, and I was in a rush to like catch a train, head down to Positano, and like I couldn't get money because I accidentally left off my middle name on the KYC info, and my passport had my middle name. So I was like, oh, no big deal. I'll just redo this withdrawal. I'll cancel it and do a new one with my middle name. And so I walk outside, and I'm of course on cell signal, and it's like stuck on United States, and I'm like freaking out. I need these euros to pay the driver when I get down there. And so I found out that if I jump on Wi-Fi, it actually shows I was in Italy, but I didn't know it at the time. So like I let the Vibrant team know that. And I guess what I'm getting back to is these refugees, there's a chance that they'll have a SIM card from one country, they're crossing borders or something, and then maybe that becomes an issue. It's like, oh, well, you're in, Colombia or something like that. You're no longer in Colombia or something like that. So I just really hope that is like, they need to cover all the bases, because if it's something where these people are counting on this money and they need to go to the store and they need to buy food, stuff like that, there's no room for error there. Like it absolutely needs to work. So all bases need to be covered as far as that integration goes. But yeah, it's huge. Like it went under the radar. Like I said, both organizations, SDF and the UNHCR, they're both, I mean, they have no incentive to, there's no hype or anything needed. I mean, obviously it's a big thing, but it's kind of UNHCR's project. They're using Stellar. There's a lot of companies that use Stellar, and, SDF isn't even aware. Like they always use the Franklin Templeton example. So they're not going to be the ones to do it. It's up to you and I to make people aware, and we can post about it and stuff like that. But when it actually is live, I'm sure UNHCR will do some sort of announcement about it or something like that. But Carmen Het was the hero of the show for sure that last day.
They had a big video about the evolution of the UNHCR, and it's funny because I see them using this as their next step of evolution for helping people out. And she had a couple of meaningful quotes. She said blockchain is ready for the UN. So
That was pretty cool. And then she said there was another time she said this use case will be remembered for many years. Many roads lead to Rome. So like a direct acknowledgement that this is from the work that they've done with SDF. And then for me, this whole conversation has really highlighted that like think about the conversations that they must have had to get here. I guarantee you this was not something that was easy to do or to begin, but imagine how easier conversations get from here on out with other regulators and other services or parties, like having the UN use your tools and showing meaningful change is going to make it a lot easier for real adoption, meaningful adoption to take place. So here we are. And I'm very excited to see it happen. This year is going to be, I don't know, again, non-speculation wise, but adoption wise, I see an explosion in adoption. That gets me excited.
Agree. So I think that's our top 5, man. There was I definitely had some honorable mentions on my list too that didn't really fit in the top 5 that I enjoyed. Do you have some of those too, or you want me to rattle off?
No, go for it.
The community corner, you kind of mentioned it, but John had some cool stuff. We got to meet, I think it was the first day where we did the match the profile picture. And there were some people that, so John had a screen set up, and it was like a multiple choice game. So you did it on your phone, you logged in and, entered your name, and then the questions would pop up and you tried to answer them quick or whatever. And there was a match the profile picture. And then after each round, it would like show who was in the lead with the shortest amount of time picked or whatever. And there was like this guy, and we're like, who is this guy getting all these questions right? And there was this guy, Lucas, that was getting all these questions right. And I guess he's from Reddit, like a Euro to USD on Reddit. And then I forget, he told us a few times. What's that?
Dogs.
Yeah, well, he told us. No
His
big deal.
name may be Lucas, it might not be.
Yeah. And then, he said he's on Discord, but I forget his name. But it's like stuff like that. There was what was the girl's name? Irina?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
She's just joined the community. She's been active since. So
yeah. So she's new in Stellar Global Discord. And yeah, same thing. Like she showed up, and there was actually another one that John did with just like stellar trivia, and she kept getting them all right. And I think we all were like, who are you? Like what? She was just like sitting in the back by herself. And we're like, who are you? How are you getting all these questions right? Like one of the questions was what day was XLM listed on Coinbase or something like that? And everyone was like, I have no idea. Like that's no idea.
She knew the exact one from a couple of years ago. Like,
yeah. And so it was just cool. And then like, I think that was when, I think Fragged had just got there, and like he walked in and we saw like his name answering questions. And
I thought he scanned it from a picture or something. I was like,
yeah.
He's not here. I don't see him.
Everyone's like, wait, where's Paul? Apparently he's here because his name is like showing up on the screen. So, that was cool. That John was giving away an actual Sorobon. And I'm really
Tyler
bummed.
Won, right? Tyler won.
That?
Tyler won that.
No.
Yeah,
Fergal got it.
No, but he gave it to Fergal.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
Tyler won everything.
Fergal's in the chat. Fergal, can you confirm or deny that you actually won it by yourself, or if you were given that? I don't know. I was told that he just won, but there was also only like 3 people that played the Roman games where he gave that away, and it required like coordination. So I was actually excited to go. There you go. John said Fergal won it. There you go. Yeah, straight up. Fergal. Yeah. See, exactly. He knows what's going on. I won it.
Sorry, I thought Tyler won it for some odd reason and it was broken or something. Fergal says I was amazing.
Yeah, toot my own horn. So yeah, the community corner stuff. Community corner stuff was awesome. Enrique, super cool. That guy, he's like in the shadows, man. Like I met him, and then I like hardly ever saw the guy. He just like makes his way around. He's a very quiet guy.
He loves brain. He did a lot of networking.
Yeah. And then like Nesho, Kai, like literally everybody was super cool. The Beans guys, those guys love to drink, man. Hard to hang with those guys at night. Dima, Gleb, Jason, all those guys, super cool.
Oh no.
And then the Script 3 guys. So we were, so Raph and I were walking to the venue the first day, and we needed to stop and get some food. And there was a little shop, and we're like, oh, we'll just pop in here. And I think you were getting a coffee or something. And I got a hot chocolate because I don't drink coffee. And right when we walked by, there were two guys sitting outside. One guy was on a laptop, and we walk inside. I'm like, hey, I'm pretty sure that was Marcus and Alex from Script 3, the team making yield blocks. He's like, really? And then Raph being Raph, which you could probably tell from the dancing video, Raph just literally walks outside and he's like, hey, can we come sit with you guys? And I'm just like, oh, like Alex is probably busy because Alex had a talk. He was doing a session at Meridian. And so I was like, no, like they're probably busy. They don't want to just like talk to us right now. And so anyways, we ended up sitting with them and they finished their breakfast, and we just kind of chatted for a while. Both those guys, super cool. And the last day of the show, we were leaving, and it was me and Raph and John, and then Tyler joined us for lunch. So it was us four. And then Alex and Marcus walked out of the venue, and we're like, hey, you want to go get lunch? And they didn't want to go because they were going home to wash their clothes, which, hey, good on them. I don't like getting home from vacation and having dirty clothes either. But it was one of those, like a girl saying she has to wash her hair or something, and she just really doesn't want to hang out with you. She's like, that was the first thing that came to mind, like an excuse to not hang with us. They're like, oh, we gotta wash clothes, yeah, something like that. But yeah, everybody was super, super, super cool. And then there was some other really cool talks that hopefully people will see when they post. Like David, like I'll just watch that guy talk. Like his personality, it's like, and manic is not the right, like it sounds like a negative thing, but it's like when you get a person, and he's an interesting character. I think
he's real. Tells you what he thinks.
Yeah. And so, yeah, very honest. But when you get someone like that starts talking about something they're passionate about, like it could be someone that's not even interested in the topic, and it can just like suck them in. So the talk that he did, like agreement is its own incentive, was a super cool talk. And hopefully everybody will watch that when it gets posted. But that was super cool. And then the How Done is Stellar. Did you see that with Tomer and Jed?
No, I'm going to have to rewatch some sessions.
Yeah, so that one was also super cool, and I think it made its rounds there with Tomer saying, "I think we should ditch the decks."
Ruffled some feathers, I hear.
Yeah, so people kind of ran with that, and were like, "Hey, what's up with this? Are we losing the decks?" But I mean, it was a very loose conversation. Justin Rice was leading it, and they were just talking. And then it's funny, Jed replied like, he's like, we're not getting rid of the decks. They were both just like, no, this is good. Like, this is how stuff happens. Like you might disagree, and then, you come around to it, much like smart contracts or something like that. So,
fun fact, Greed initially didn't want smart contracts. He posted on Discord. He said, Stellar does something very efficiently. We shouldn't add some complexity to it. And now he's convinced. Now he's on board.
And now he's the one that came up with the name. They're like, hey, you came around, we'll pick your name. Sorbonne, we'll go with it.
Just wanted to, should we drop in just last couple of things about what's happened since Meridian before we kind of before we get out of here?
Yeah, are you trying to run? We got a lot.
Sorry, I don't want to rush you. Sorry.
No, I just the other big things. The Australian stablecoin, that got dropped.
Yeah.
Wait, end of the month, right? Did they say end of the month?
Babe.
Yeah, MJ. I should have got that picture of me wearing the gold outfit.
I think I have it. I can let me just.
So Michaela from Novati, who's doing the Australian stablecoin, is a hoot, man. There was a panel that she was on with the guy. Is it Sean, right, from Stablecorp?
That sounds good. No, Alex McDougall's from Stablecorp.
Alex McDougall, yes. I got that wrong earlier in the show. Sorry. So Alex, it was Alex, Tiana from Circle, I believe. Michaela.
I don't have the gold thing. Sorry.
You don't have the gold? That was
I think it's on your phone.
Oh. So that's Michaela from Novati. And so anyways, there's like this panel, and the first two people were like previous banking experience. So they introduced themselves like all proper, and then it gets to a Michaela, and she's like, I got into crypto a little bit differently. Were you in there?
Yeah, she was
Yeah.
cool. She was
Yeah. And so, I mean, obviously she said this story in front of a bunch of strangers in the room there. So I think she doesn't seem like she's easily offended. And so she goes, and her story, excuse me, goes something like, she got introduced to crypto because she bought Bitcoin to then buy drugs on Silk Road to kill herself.
Yeah.
Oh man, all that yelling in each other's faces at Meridian is, maybe I got the vid. So yeah, and immediately everyone's like, "Whoa, okay." And so she tried to buy the drugs. Apparently, the drugs were fake. And then, like a few months later, she went back, realized she still had some Bitcoin, and it was worth a ton of money. And she's like, "Whoa, okay, so this stuff is kind of cool." So it was interesting for that.
Yeah.
Hold on, I gotta
That was
mute my
cool.
mic.
That was a cool presentation. Sorry.
Sorry, I had to get a good cough out.
Yeah.
But the only other thing, real quick, that I thought was super cool that I'm not going to be able to explain very well, but people should definitely watch, was a session about improving TPS through data flow optimization. And it was, what was his name?
Is it the guy from SDF?
Hidenori Shinohara. And I totally butchered that. So apologies there. But apparently they've been doing tests about ways to improve TPS, and the way the validators currently like spread messages to anyone and everyone, even if they've already heard about it before, like the broadcasting transactions, they're working on a way, and he called it the pull method. And it's kind of a way for a validator to be like, hey, do you know about this transaction? As opposed to just sending the full payload. It can kind of ask the validator, like, do you already know about this? And then if they say yes, then like it's done, as opposed to just sending everything over. So if they're asked about it and they don't need it, then they can, say, I don't know about that, send it to me type thing. And I forget the number that he gave for the improvement, but it was fairly significant. I like 30% is stuck in my head as far as the improvement that they saw in efficiency there. But super cool talk. It was kind of one of those talks where the title might not have really like excited you or something like that. And then the engineer wasn't like, Tomer or something like that. It wasn't a name where you're like, I'll just go for the name. But I was really glad I heard it because it was actually really cool. And it just goes to show that there's other things happening behind the scenes that we don't really know about that they're working on to improve TPS. And Tomer, in a different talk, said there's plenty of headroom in the current 1,000 operations per ledger. So, I mean, even without things like SpeedX and stuff, there's definitely things that they're working on to speed things up.
No.
So that's all I have. Sorry, I got the coughs over here. This silver bullet, man, the steel smoothie is killing me over here.
No. There's and then did you see the database, the new database stuff? Is that also
bucket list? Yeah, the bucket list DB. I was in the room, I think. But like just due to the time change and showing up like the day before, I feel like it was during the like midday hour where I just like totally I was a zombie. But I was in there for it, I believe, but I was kind of at the community corner and not paying a ton of attention. So
I was gonna, just before we're just kind of dwindling down now. We just have a couple different things to mention, but there's been a couple of news since Meridian. We didn't mention also Wirex is now supporting Stellar USDC, which is another news that was dropped at Meridian. Here's a sort of Bonathon first light. So these are the first submissions that have happened. There's been some really good ones that have been. The first one was actually super cool. It was a near dev and his experience comparing the near build side versus the Sora bonds and just a positive first experience. He says here, holy contract size Batman, and then the build side on Stellar. Again, I think near also uses Wasm. Isn't that what they use? So here the build size is 3.3 kilobytes here, and then on the near contract size you got 99. So again, big difference here. So he he kind of keeps going, say like, okay, well, as an outsider from Stellar, is there a future in Stellar? And he says, well, there's like lots of good things that are happening on Stellar that we just kind of forget about. So, for example, Stellar has a really long track record. One of the first other alts after Bitcoin, before Ethereum in 2013, focus on. So he goes on to kind of talk about it. Some really cool things that he likes as a developer, Wasm and Rust. Again, someone as a platform that develops on it. He actually talks about where was it? That he met a dev at a
it was
conference.
Tyler.
Yeah, they've been sending Tyler to different conferences to kind of promote Stellar on different ecosystems, and he mentions like that he was talking to someone and it was a positive experience. I think he said one thing that he said, it was sometimes being late isn't.
Right there.
Where is it?
Right there.
Yeah,
where your mouse is.
Sometimes being late to the game is an asset. And I think Stellar kind of leveraged this. Everyone's kind of building all these or duplicating all these different smart contract platforms. And Stellar's kind of looked at everyone and said, okay, well, what do we want to do and what would we not want to do? So they've taken experience from all the other kind of ecosystems and learned from them. And for other devs to recognize that is pretty cool.
Yeah. I always mention that's kind of like Apple. Like they're not the first one, like the bleeding edge of stuff. The features will arrive on other phones first, but they typically wait and then just like do it correctly. So yeah, there's definitely advantages to it for sure.
And like I said, like even Carmen from UNHR got really excited about smart contracts and was telling that she's hoping that the dev community is going to, help build tools that are going to help the UN with all these people. So it's pretty cool. Again, that's one of the, I dumped some audio onto Stellar Global. If you're not a part of the community, you should head there. But yeah, there's been lots of different people that have started, participating in these kind of sample contracts or SDKs for Sorbonathon, getting some free Stellar by doing so. You can, as listeners, you can build content. You can talk about Sorbonathon, make tutorials, or and you can apply to get some free Stellar. So for some free Lumen. So hey, go for it. If you go look at the explanation here, they actually go and to explain to you what you can actually get and for how much. And they've already started to approve people after a week. So definitely worth going. There's been other things like a lottery smart contract and some vaults, and the Stellar Python SDK guys started building on it. So again, I think this is just after a week. So I think that we're going to see a lot more in the coming weeks here. So excited to see it.
Yeah. And the Sorbonathon portion of it, the 1 million, I think goes until December 15th. So yeah, you definitely got time.
And then the next news we got that was kind of cool was I saw them at Meridian, but I didn't know what they were building still because they've been super quiet. But they run kind of a full validator, which is really expensive, or T1 validator on Stellar. And they just started. So Coin, I don't know how to say that.
Quest.
They started a new anchor, and it is a Lightmint and Bitcoin anchor. What did I say?
Lightmint anchor?
Oh man,
you really love him.
A Litecoin and Bitcoin anchor, which is kind of cool because Litecoin can now be used as a privacy coin. So we have a privacy coin anchor on Stellar now, which is cool. And they've also mentioned here that they plan on, using Sorbon for modernizing these anchors to, remove some of that trust. So excited to see what they build as new anchors on the platform. They've traditionally only built I think it's like a e-commerce platform. So this is something new from them.
Yeah, they kind of build. They have an API that you can accept crypto in your checkout. I think they have plugins for like Shopify and maybe WordPress and stuff like that. So yeah. And he was like a big poster on Reddit for a long time. That Marcin guy, or Marcin, I would guess it's probably pronounced, the guy who wrote that post. But yeah, they kind of disappeared for a while. I didn't know what they were up to. I think they got money from SCF, I believe. Probably like 4 or 5 ago.
They presented at last year's Meridian. They had like a
video or whatever that they showed off.
Yeah. And then it just kind of got quiet, but yeah, more anchors, the better. I mean, right now, what's the only reliable Bitcoin anchor is pretty much Ultrastellar. So, I mean, the more the merrier, as far as that goes. So, yeah, more.
Also excited to see what Ultrastellar does on Sorbonne. So, time will tell.
Yeah, we shall see. And yeah, Lightman, you already said you talked to him and he was like, it's a go.
I think Fred's already playing with it. He said he was already building a bunch of stuff. I know he talked about doing two-way bridges, and then he also talked about in a recent when he opened up Converge with Twitter Space, he said that he wants to make Lightment multi-chain.
Yeah.
So that's going to be exciting.
Yeah. Good stuff. Well, that's pretty much all that I had for today. Was there anything else you have, or should we
Questions?
see if there's any questions here? So I think there was some. Let's see. We can scroll down. What's Meridian? That's a good one. So here's one. So not gonna lie, my priority is to know what's going on with Script 3. I mean, I don't know anything more than kind of they posted in their last, we're in a holding pattern because we're not going to build on turrets. But I mean, they are for sure building on Sorbonne. I mean, Alex and Tomer were a session, just those two. The session wasn't focused on like talking about yield blocks in particular. It was more talking about like, how has your experience been building on Sorbonne so far? But Alex is definitely in there building. If you go in the Stellar Dev Discord, Alex is in there. Alex Moots is in there, asking questions, figuring things out. So yes, they are for sure building on Sorbonne. Timelines, I mean, they haven't said anything. I don't, we met them and chatted and shot the shit and stuff, but we didn't poke and prod them for anything like that, because they're building. They'll let us, when there's something to say, they'll say it. So
they got kind of screwed over from when turrets moved away and they announced smart contracts. Like, they had all this dev work that had been gone through, and now having 100 million to kind of dip into to kind of hire people, maybe. Or again, this is only the first part of Sorbonne-a-thon. There's going to be more there, but seeing a big fund to have devs is obviously going to give more life to Script 3, because they need funding to hire these people and do this work again. So excited to see that there's money available.
Definitely. Let's see here. Did Spintex dress like a wizard? No. So sad about that. I really thought we should add a profile picture party, and he would have needed to dress as a wizard.
He said his hat didn't fit in his luggage.
Yeah, we all did carry-ons and stuff, so it was limited. I was supposed to bring Enrique all of his swag that he won. Couldn't fit it in my bag, so we had to scrap that. Let's see what other questions. Or here's a comment. Here's a good comment. Note to SDF, no gala halfway through the conference next time. Very good. Very good suggestion there. That does make it a little bit harder to pay attention the day after that. Let's see what else we got. I like this one. I wish I could dance like that. See?
Me too.
You have fans. No, he's talking about you.
I was joking. I wasn't even serious. I didn't want to dance in that circle. Like, I have much better dance moves.
Oh, you got
much
better. You have better than what was there, huh? So we've got more to come, or something like
that.
Oh
man, let's go back to that picture of you with the pizza. Let's do that.
No, don't you do that, and there's problems. Someone about MoneyGram access points. Do they work now? Yeah. I mean, yeah. Are they? There are certainly some issues with some. I mean, in Italy, so my experience, I had to go to about 5 places to be able to do mine. Not totally MoneyGram's fault. So the first place I went to was actually listed on the app as a place. It was a post office that I should have been able to use. They didn't speak English, first of all, none of them, which seemed kind of odd. Like not that like they need to, like, learn English as an Italian. No, I'm not saying that, but most everywhere that we went could understand some English, at least to get stuff done. But so then you know English, no one that worked there. And then I was like, well, I can figure this out with just like pointing and like kind of figuring it out. So I like point MoneyGram, and the lady's like, we don't do MoneyGram. And she like gives me an address by the train station. So there was a line there. Like I had to get a number, and like I was so frustrated when I left there. So then like the next place I went to, I think I mentioned earlier, like my name didn't match. And then when I tried to do it again, my phone showed up. I was in the United States, so I couldn't do it. So there were some issues there. Then the next place I went to, they didn't have 500 euro. And then finally, I think so it must have been 5 tries. I finally, on the 5th try, no joke, the name of the place was Butt Phone Center. they had 500 euro to give me. So yeah, I mean, I think the Vibrant team, I mean, they're definitely looking for feedback. So I mean, if you go to use it and you have issues, if you cancel a withdrawal, it'll ask you for like a reason why, because I had to do that a couple of times just to like redo my thing. So if you have issues, yeah, jump in Stellar Global, or even they have a Vibrant channel in the Stellar developer Discord server. So like, let them know. I mean, like I was saying, back to the refugee stuff, like this needs to be figured out. So if you guys go to use it and have issues, then let them know. They're open. I mean, G is super responsive, and Jesse's floating around.
That's cool. Jesse gave me a hookup. She like gave me like so I can go test out Vibrant in Canada. So I hope you guys roll jelly. I bought a Subway gift card on Vibrant yesterday, and I used Stellar to buy some Subway. It was great.
Remember when we used to think eating a foot of bread was healthy?
I used to work at Subway, and I still love it. I love Subway.
My gosh!
I don't think it's healthy, but I love it.
Word
to the wise, always ask for extra tomatoes, because then they'll give you extra cucumber and then extra olives. They'll give you extra everything if you ask for.
That's the Subway hack.
That's the hack.
Oh my gosh!
That's right.
Subway hack. I didn't know about that. I don't know if this is this serious. I will really want to know what POA is. Proof of agreement. Hopefully that's what you're asking about.
Or attendance. That could be. I don't know.
I think I don't know. Mentioning the actual go live date for the AUDD. It's AUDD, not AUDC. But yeah, I mean, proof of agreement is what they're calling the Stellar Consensus Protocol now. It's kind of just to go because there's proof of work and proof of stake and stuff like that, and then you say SCP, and people probably
Federated Byzantine.
Yeah. Federated Byzantine Agreement. Yeah. So people just probably just gloss over and stop listening after that. So this came out around the time of Davos, I believe, which was very environmentally focused. And so I think that was their push towards kind of throwing Stellar in the mix to be thought of in that same grouping, but also differentiating themselves so that, the sustainability and, the energy usage of the network, differentiates itself. So that's what POA is if you're talking in regards to proof of agreement.
Yeah.
What else we got?
We have, where can I follow the presentations? You tell us.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
They've that's kind of one of the reasons why we kind of didn't stream everything, or we kind of gave up on streaming, is because they were going to be recorded. But that's going to be up to SDF to post it. Once we find out, we'll be tweeting it out and telling you guys all that they're online and you can find them. So can you do the worm? Can anyone do the worm? But I did see one. I won't tell you who, because I don't want to embarrass anyone, but there was someone ahead of SDF that did the worm on the dance floor. So let your imagination run wild.
I did not witness this.
There was someone, and you'll know. Did you not know at all? They gave you their business card. Don't say who it is.
Yeah, no, I knew who it was just because I remember seeing them in the front in the mix. So yeah, I know. I did not see the worm though. Did not see the worm.
Oh, I saw the worm. It was.
How do we not have video of that?
Hard hit on that ground too. The guy just gave it. So
guy or girl.
Nettie Bella, if you're listening, let us know if you have video of a worm happening
Nobody's
on the
got
dance floor.
videos of the dance floor. That's don't ruin it. Come on, Nettie. Oh.
Yeah. And John, no, you are incorrect. It is not Jordan. Cool. Well, I don't see any other questions, but hey, we got a lot of people in the chat today. I love that. There was actually people here with us, even though it was 4:00. Like, people got to let us know what time they want these things. And Raph has a real job. I just watch kids. So I'm more flexible. Like, I had to stick them. They're probably they're watching something up there. I threaten them and tell them don't come in Dad's office
in Canto.
Yeah, for the 800th time, something. But I'm gonna go feed the ankle biters, the little mongrels now. But yeah, I'm glad we had a bunch more people show up, ask questions. And if there's anyone watching this afterwards that has any questions, just drop a comment. Make sure you
wants this question. We got one more here before we close off today. Was there any discussion about depreciating the claimable balances?
No, there wasn't any talk about deprecating claimable balances as far as I saw. I think it was kind of, I heard one thing about it. It wasn't speaker talking, I think, but I did hear like little rumblings about it or something. Like it might have been after the Dex comment or something like that, or maybe it was just between me and another community member. But there was no official talk about it. I mean, I think that's still happening all on the Stellar mailing list.
Yeah, you can go look at the discussion, but it seems personally it feels like it's just they have other things going on right now that removing claimable balances is not going to be the focus because it does change a lot for everyone. So personally, I don't see any of this like moving forwards in any of the short term, but maybe again follow that mailing list. Maybe we'll see something come out of it.
Yeah, I mean, like 6 to 12 months would be like, if it was going to happen, it won't be in the next like 6 months type thing. I mean, they are full gas on Sorobon right now.
Even SpeedX asked questions about Jairus, but SpeedX, and he said, just not the focus right now. We're working on Sorobon. So,
yeah, absolutely. Cool. You got anything else?
Nope. Just throw us your public keys.
Check the description on this video. I have both Raph and I's contact information down there. If you want to subscribe to the channel, get notified whenever we decide to throw our mugs on here again and talk shop. Like the video. I don't even know. Can you like a live video? Thumbs up.
I think you can. Maybe
do that. We deserve a thumbs up.
We removed you had to subscribe to comment now, so now you can make sure you subscribe after this video.
Yeah, we'll lock it down next time. Make sure you're a subscriber. So yeah, toss us a public key, and we will toss you over one of those beautiful giraffe-y looking things from our buddy Leo.
That's right. You don't want to miss out on this one. This one's special. You were there.
They're all special, but this one's
community
actually
night too. That was the Stellar community night.
Yeah, and we've got swag. We got a lot of swag. I've got multiple t-shirts. I've got a backpack to give away. I've got water bottles. I've got hats. I've got stickers.
This was probably the best thing that they put in the backpack. It is like a multi-different wire that's Stellar branded. It has like USB-C and Lightning and micro
USB. Yeah,
everything. So this was cool. Got some notebooks, very exciting stuff, and
white socks. We've got new socks.
Some water bottles too. Lots of socks.
Yeah, where's the branding on that? You didn't show the branding side.
Oh, did I miss it? No.
It's inconspicuous. There you go. Got Stellar on there.
That's right.
And super swaggy. I mean, the backpack was the big thing. I've got a backpack that I will be giving away at some point to one of our NFT holders. It was a heck of a time. There you go. Very nice backpack, may I add. So nice that the backpack I flew to Italy with, I threw in the trash and flew home with my new Stellar backpack.
Did you try it to attach it to your luggage? There's like a slip for your luggage. That was super cool.
Yeah, they made me check my bags on the way back, so I didn't need it. But yeah, it does.
But yeah, so I promised one of these bags to Jeff Neal because I can't let my boy down. But I do have some more. So we do have some stuff.
And we also have tangent cards. So if
Oh,
anyone wants to
tangent
check
cards.
out-
Yeah, those were popular when we posted those in the Stellar Global. Those were people were wanting those. So yeah, we've got a handful of tangent cards that we can include with a swaggy box. So we got a lot of cool stuff, I guess, is what we're saying, and hopefully more on the way. I want some vibrant stuff. So
we want vibrant stuff.
Yeah, we want vibrant
maybe
stuff.
we
We
have
want all
vibrant
the stuffs, all the
Yeah.
stuffs.
Yeah.
So yeah, toss us your public key, and we will drop those. I think I minted enough. Hopefully, we got quite a few people here, but yeah, shoot Raph a DM on Twitter with those public keys or in Stellar Global. Either way, just get it to us. Not after the fact. You got to be here live. I run a tight ship, man. I don't mess around.
It's a deadline. It's like a couple hours after the show.
Yeah,
Or what?
you know, somewhere where I can believe that you were actually here on the show. So yeah, John's number one sending me his key. Cool. Well, I think that's it. Should we watch anything again, or should we?
I think we let's hide that.
Don't do it. I'm gonna end this stream. I gotta cut this off before Raph brings up some stuff. Yeah. Send us your public keys. We gotta go. See you next time.